Hi everybody, this is Craig here. Welcome to my second episode of my first Age of Wonders 3 playthrough. Last time, in episode 1, we got our start as a Frostling Necromancer. We established our first city, did some exploring, did some battling, got our second city, which we violently subjugated and turned into a city of the undead. And now we basically have to keep progressing with our heroes and working on leveling them up. So we're going to end our turn. As we saved last time, the turn hadn't ended, so let's do that. So the AI are taking their turns now. Taking their time as well, it would seem. Okay, so Whispers of the Fallen is now ready to cast. This was the spell that we had set up a couple of turns ago. So, just to reiterate, I think this is a really good early game spell for Necromancers. Honestly, it's my favorite one to cast first. Battles fought within 16 hexes of your cities and fortresses become visible. This spell doesn't affect vassal cities, but most important here, you gain a small amount of research for each unit killed in combat. That's a really nice way to offset some of the slow growth of Necromancer cities and the fact that you may not be able to quite get that research income that certain others might be able to achieve. So this gives you kind of a leg up when it comes to building up that aspect of your economy, essentially your research economy. Okay, so that's taken care of. Let's just take a quick peek. So the other spells we still have Undead Plague, which we haven't used yet, and Corrupt the Source for if we encounter, for example, things like inns or farms, anything that would normally benefit living cities only, we can turn those into things that will benefit us as the undead. So, we also have this scout unit over here that was doing a good job of scouting. So I think we will, and remember we've got the tomb here and the tomb down here as well. So those are going to be useful when we get our necromancers a little bit higher in level, up to level 7 for that greater reanimate undead. Oh, and it looks like we've got another city here. Let's see. Human city, it would appear. And they are not happy to see us. I mean, in fairness to them, I wouldn't be super happy to see us either. It also looks like we have a tunnel to go underground. So just to remind everybody, we have both underground and the Shadow Realm, which we haven't obviously gotten to explore yet. So we'll have to see how that ends up going once we get to explore that. I haven't spent a lot of time in the Shadow Realm with the Shadow Realm mod that I have installed. But I do know that living units take a penalty while they're there. Only the Shadow Elves essentially can exist there without penalty. But because I'm undead, my units won't suffer substantial penalty, which is nice. So, I've sent my scout unit here underground. I want to start seeing if there's anything underground, other cities I can encounter, things like that. So let's keep progressing with our heroes. I think we'll move to the west here rather than progressing north, even though we do have the road. Since we now know that there's a city down here, this human city, I think we're going to want to kind of head that way and keep growing our empire here. So let us do a battle. Once again, selecting one unit to move kind of saves the movement points of everybody a little bit, so the units that have a little bit more movement can kind of offset your less agile units on the world map. Okay, so we're fighting other Frostlings. By this point, our units are quite strong, so we are really just going to focus on getting our heroes some additional experience here. And once again, our cadavers make absolutely fantastic shields, basically, so that our units can just hide behind them and soak up the cadavers can soak up all kinds of damage, and then we can just revive them when we need to. And I'm going to just leave these units here as guards, essentially. Let them come to us. I tend to avoid getting my heroes into melee combat as much as possible, but in this instance, I don't mind. So we'll basically just use our heroes here to get some more kills, and then we will finish off this marauder. Perfect. Nice, easy battle, and you can see there we actually got 9. We got 9 research from that battle. So again, you can imagine how quickly that will add up and start making an actual difference in your research output. Oh, and we've got some treasure there. It may be worth me researching Lost Souls pretty soon to get them up and at them as scout units, and of course, as they are floating, they can traverse water with ease. And they can also move over mountains and things like that. Okay, so we've got some Draconians, and we are going to try and get a few more evil points here and some more experience. Oh, and Draezad appears to have leveled up to level 5 in that last battle, so I must have missed that. Alright, so let's just bombard these guys as much as we can. Now, we do have to watch out because these chargers have wings, meaning that they can kind of jump around and have more mobility than you'd expect them to. And I don't want them getting up in my hero's business. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to charge into them, so much as I hate to do it, I think I'm going to pull my hero back. Even there, it can still get hit. Well, fortunately, I think we're basically going to... here's what we'll do. We'll still get some experience by dropping a heal on our cadavers, and then we will basically press our cadavers up forward. And once again, we will pull Draezad back because we don't want to risk him getting stabbed by those pikemen. And then we are essentially just going to shore up our defenses here. And let's see what happens. Oof, that fire damage. You can see how, as undead and frostlings, we are a little bit squishier to that. So obviously just have to keep that in mind. So Sheila is getting fairly close to level 5. So let's get her a kill here, hopefully. Yep, there we go. And we can finish off these little guys here with Draezad. Now, our Royal Guard have taken some punishment. That's okay, though. I think we are basically going to throw our cadavers in to be Meat Shield Extraordinaires, or as I said last time, Bone Shield Extraordinaire. And then we will throw a Frozen Flames on there for a little bit more XP. And we'll get our Mammoth Rider in the area, but not right up in there. Wow. Alright. Those cadavers actually start being reasonably powerful as they level up, so despite being kind of the lowest tier 1 unit essentially for necromancers, they do have some utility beyond just being a shield. Alright, so at level 5, this is where things really start to get interesting for necromancers. My 2 favorites for this rank are Bane of the Good. So all units in the hero's army gain Unholy Champion. So we're going to take that. And then Control Undead is the other one that I really, really like. You have a chance basically to take control of any enemy undead unit. Although there are a few that are immune. A few of them are immune to mind control effects, and they won't be able to be swayed by that. But especially for sort of the tier 1, tier 2 units, that tends to work quite well. Once again, we don't have any spells we're going to cast. Although, you know, it might be worth reinforcing Whispers of the Fallen. Oh, and of course, I guess I'm not able to do that yet because I don't really have positive mana income. So we'll wait until I start having a shrine and a few other things. Alright, let's progress the turn. Once again, we'll wait for the AI to do its thing. So, again here, we now have a tier level 5 hero who's going to be able to use Control Undead potentially on these reanimators in this necromantic circle. I would really like to get both heroes up to level 5 before we get into this battle, though. Oh, and we have Frostling Race Governance. Excellent. Let's take a look. So, our Harpoon Throwers get plus 10 health, or our Barracks in Frostling Cities give an additional 30 population per turn. I think I'm going to take the extra population because, once again, I do tend to struggle with growing Necromancer cities. Alright, now, we finished our previous research. We've now got some choices. Vampiric Hunger is extremely powerful. Undead, irregular, infantry, and pikeman units gain the life-stealing ability. So this applies to all our ghouls. This is obviously very, very useful. And imagine those cadavers having life-steal suddenly. That really ups the ante. Fertility rights, that could be useful in the early game here. The undead population of your entire empire grows 15% faster. I think we're actually going to really press for... Let's do fertility rights, because that's going to have a really long-term effect. Once again, in the comments, you know, I appreciate any feedback. I don't always know exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes I just kind of have to go on a whim. Alright, so in our main city here in Dostara, we've produced our Siege Workshop. I'm now going to work on the Masters Guild. Once again, just to reiterate, I really like going down the production path first, just to speed up the production of all subsequent buildings. Kind of in the race for that Imperial City. Alright, so let's advance and see what's kind of here. It doesn't look like there's anything else to really attack. We are going to grab these haste berries to keep us going. Okay, perfect. So, we're going to take out this Well of Souls, hopefully get... Yeah, Sheila should definitely get to level 5, and then we will press down to take these production resources and then try and recruit some undead friends. We may even be able to grab this carrion bird, but we'll have to see if that works out. It's not of the highest priority for me right now, but still something we can try to do. Now, these battles can be kind of tough because we are fighting against birds, which obviously have very, very good mobility and can fly over our units rather than having to go around units that you've put in front of them. So what I like to do, because these things can actually deal out a surprising amount of damage, I tend to turtle up my hero units quite a bit. I think we're actually going to throw on Pledge of Protection just to really keep Draezad safe here. And then we are basically going to, as I said, turtle up. We're going to bring in our cavalry as additional defense here. We're going to put everybody in defense mode just to make sure that they are as safe as possible. Now, our heroes are going to take some hits. That's kind of unavoidable. But hopefully we minimize any damage and risk. Okay, so that was a really good outcome. Nobody really took any major damage. Now we can basically just clear off some of these units. Now let's see if we can get a kill here. Nice. Now how much does she need? She needs another 6 experience. So we really need to make sure here we are careful. Now here's how Control Undead works. So again, it's a resistance check. If it succeeds, then they are mind controlled, and if the battle ends with them still mind controlled, I get that unit on my team. However, excuse me, if the attack, or if the skill fails, then the undead unit that I'm using it on will take between 9 and 14 spirit damage. And obviously undead don't really like spirit damage, so that works out kind of in a positive way either way. Let's give it a try. Oh, okay, it was successful. That's quite nice. There we go. Now, unfortunately, it looks like Sheila's not going to get enough experience. I really thought she would, but these units went down a little easier than I was kind of expecting them to. So we'll finish them off there. Well, at least our Spearman Royal Guard leveled up there, so that's kind of useful. So again, we now have this Carrion Bird, which is a pretty decent Tier 2 unit. Importantly, it can fly, which is going to actually allow us to maybe grab this amount of gold here. So I think we'll kind of use this as a glorified scout for a little bit, and then we will group it up as well. I notice here that we have Tomb of Less the Almighty. This is one of the additions from one of the mod packs I have installed. And once again, this is another type of tomb that can house undead. So we're actually really spoiled for having undead containing structures around us. So once I can get these heroes up to 7, hopefully, we should be able to start building our kind of mid-game army. Oh, and here we've got a Forbidden Sanctum. These can give you some really nice spells. Okay, so no obvious cities immediately, but we will keep exploring. We do have to be careful is that those units, especially underground, there tends to be a lot of roaming units that can really dish out some pretty nasty damage. And I would like to maybe start building up another couple of units just to keep my throne city safe. So we're going to end our turn there. And we'll see what the AI decides to do here. Obviously, I can't see them yet. Pardon the noise there, just taking a drink. Okay, and we've had a hero offer to join us. A sorcerer hero. So sorcerer heroes, obviously, let's see what abilities this guy has. Melnath. So Frostling, obviously, starts off with some spells. Oh, he's of magical origin. That's kind of interesting. Meaning that he's susceptible to banish and arcane binding spells. I think what we'll do is... I could try to gamble and see if I can maybe get another Necromancer. Obviously, they're my favorite heroes to have as a Necromancer. But I could also just accept him. Might be nice to have the extra defense. I think I'm going to take him. It is nice to have a really nice magic, a hero that can cast some really useful magic spells. Once again, excuse me there. Again, I really am a big fan of these abilities that give all your units in a stack, led by the hero with some bonuses. So I'm actually going to take Charged Army. And I think for now, I'm going to leave this hero as a glorified base guard, just for now. Once I get a few more units, I'm going to actually start sending that hero out as well. But I will need to find another unit that can heal my stacks. Alright, so now we've got our second city here. It's finished its Harvester Guild. However, I want to build up a little bit more gold, I think, because, let's see. So this is going to finish in 3 turns, and we need to make sure that we have enough gold to start building our next couple structures. We don't want any turns left in our main city. However, that's not for 3 turns, so you know what? We will build a Builder's Hall. Now, obviously, that's really draining our resources, so again, through combat, I think we're really going to try here to increase our cash flow. And again, I'm going to try and use this unit to go and pick up a little bit of extra cashola. Oh, and here we've got a squad of lost souls. They've just been spawned by this necromantic circle, so obviously important that we clear this out so that they aren't attacking our main city. But let's take out these building resources, production resources here. We'll get some experience, and we'll also get hopefully a really useful structure for our main city, as it appears to be closest. So we're fighting some dwarves. Those forge priests do fire damage, which obviously we're not a real big fan of. Although our units are getting pretty strong with the amount of experience they've gained, so I'm not too concerned. Do have to watch out for these deep guard with our cavalry. So I think we're going to apply the age-old, albeit somewhat boring strategy of basically turtling up, letting them come to us. Again, I'm throwing out my cadavers there as a bit of a sacrifice. Oof. Alright, we goaded them in here. Now we can punish them for their eagerness. Some nice damage there. Let's see if Sheila can get the kill. And there's that level up. We are now doing quite well there. I think I'm actually going to revive the cadavers here. Now, I really don't want our heroes getting involved with this deep guard, and the rider, obviously as a cavalry unit, is going to be vulnerable to these spear attacks. However, I think if we throw defense mode on, that will sort of keep us safe here. So let's see what happens. These forge priests are the one I really don't want hitting anybody too hard. Oof. Oh, and we lost the spearmen. Again, not the end of the world. As a necromancer, I find those units to be kind of less valuable simply because I can't revive them. So I guess their death was, partially due to maybe poor decision making on my part, but not the greatest thing to worry about. I'm not super upset about that. So we will drop a heal here and then finish off these forge priests with a nice devastating charge here. Well, I guess we can incorporate maybe one of these undead units that we snag here if we are so lucky to replace that lost unit. Okay, so we have the option here in our main city of building a glacial totem, which is the racial defense structure for our city, or the burial grounds. Now, the burial grounds is more expensive and gives us a higher mana capacity, so I'm actually going to take burial grounds. Not to say that that glacial totem isn't useful, but... Okay, so let's make sure we do the level up here first before we go any further. Once again, I'm taking the same perks, Bane of the Good and Control Undead. And we are going to see if we can... Oh, and we have to deal with these guys as well. They're in the battle. I think we'll be okay. And it might even give us some more opportunities here to get some more XP. So the biggest thing we're going to have to watch out for is these lost souls reviving after you kill them. They come back once after you've killed them. Pesky ghosts, I guess. So Draezad is a little bit beat up, so we're going to drop Frozen Flames on him. Alright, so they are not really coming to us, so we're going to kind of have to goad them into attacking here. Once again, I'm going to play this pretty conservatively with my heroes. I really don't want them getting attacked, getting killed at this point in the game, right as they're just kind of starting to get really useful with their abilities. The only caveat here is I need to get them in melee range to be able to try to convert these reanimators, so I've got to kind of play a bit of a dangerous game here. We'll kill off the lost souls. We'll get our White Witches in there as a bit of a defense. Again, I'm going to get my heroes involved. And now we're going to actually just engage these guys in melee combat, essentially. I think I'm actually going to go for the kill on these ones now that I think about it. Now, interestingly, with a gold medal, killing momentum starts to affect this Mammoth Rider, which is excellent. Meaning that if you get a kill, you get to keep moving afterwards with whatever movement points you have left. So, I guess we'll just advance. Let's see, does the cadaver... Yeah, okay, so the cadaver can do a little corpse devouring, get a little more health back. Let's see what happens. So, I don't want to kill off that reanimator just yet. I really want to see if I can... Oh, and of course my heroes aren't quite close enough. I would like to see if I can get one of my heroes in there to potentially convert that unit, maybe even both heroes, to try to convert it. But I have to be careful because my heroes are not feeling so hot at the moment, as you can see. We're going to throw the cadaver in there to tie up as many of these lost souls as possible. Of course, the caveat here, we remember that this is about to revive. One strategy when this is about to come back, if you park a unit here on top of it, there's a chance that it'll stop that unit from reviving, essentially. Now, I noticed that Sheila can actually get in there. This is a bit of a risk, because if this doesn't work out, Sheila will probably die unless we come in and finish off that reanimator with our Mammoth Rider. Ah, what the hell. Almost 50% chance. Let's give it a try. Oh, not quite. So now we have to play this maybe a little differently. The Reanimator's probably going to engage in melee combat with Sheila. Let's see how much damage that'll do. Okay, she'd be able to survive that, as long as none of these Lost Souls come in and start doing something funny. So let's maybe just charge in here and get a kill on the one at least, and tie up the other one. Hopefully now these guys don't come in and try to flank. I think we're actually going to hold off on doing damage, because I really like to avoid these guys dying prematurely if possible, but we'll see what happens. Oh, and they healed themselves. That's the best outcome I could have hoped for there. So now I'm going to bring Draezad in and try one more time. And we got it. Okay. Now we have a Draconian Reanimator, which knows Banefire as its attack instead of Black Bolts. That gives us a little bit more range as well, a little bit more variety in our elemental attacks. And then, of course, has the oh-so-useful abilities that benefit. I think we're actually going to sell this. We don't really need that too much. We're going to get a little bit of extra gold back, as we were kind of hurting. But anyway, this Reanimator, really, really good for undead. Obviously, as a Necromancer, this is kind of a bread and butter support unit. Heal Undead can keep a stack going, stack of Undead, because obviously Undead cannot regenerate on their own. And then, what's the other? Oh yeah, and then the other big part is the Raise Corpse, which is obviously extremely useful. Excuse me here, my throat's getting kind of parched. I'm just going to take a quick drink. Okay, so that was a very, very successful stretch of battles there. I think we're now going to progress over to that city to really try and start recruiting some friends, or should I say recruiting another city. Okay, so now we've got a choice. We can either go north or go south. Who knows where either goes? I'm going to head north, because above ground, that's where my units are going to kind of be going, is sort of northwest. Here, guard tower. If I had more units in this scout stack, could maybe take it out and get some vision, but that's okay. That unit will probably end up getting killed, but I'm actually okay with that at this point. Alright, we are going to end our turn there. So now that we've obtained another unit that can heal undead and keep a stack going, I'm a little bit more inclined to start splitting up these heroes. I may not do that just yet, but in the next couple turns, I think I'm going to split them up and start having each one running its own stack. Oh, and we've got some scoundrels coming in. So maybe we will reinforce this city just temporarily with our carrion bird, just to deter them from being interested in attacking. Fortunately, this city does, as you can see here, we have a wooden wall, which will make that battle a little bit easier. But As I said, these guys can be a little bit tricky with that sprint ability, and I think they can climb walls pretty easily as well, so we'll just have to be careful. Now, unfortunately, this unit, when you convert it, it doesn't get the full movement points, so it's going to be kind of lagging behind my other units. I could wait a turn, but I do really want to keep these battles rolling, so I think we'll leave this Draconian Reanimator behind for now and let him catch up as we progress here. So we're going to take out some Tigrans. Obviously, again, we have to just be careful with Tigrans. We have these Sun Guard, which again are pretty nasty. But again, we're starting to get strong enough that we can kind of roll these guys without worrying all that much. And of course, I can revive my undead units, which is extremely helpful. So again, we're just gonna kill off the Prowler, and now they may end up engaging us here. So to offset that, I'm gonna throw my cadavers in as reckless as always. These Shredders are a ranged unit, and then our Predators here are one of the modded, added units from a mod pack. I think I'm going to throw this Mammoth Rider in there just so that our heroes don't get stabbed by those Tigran pikemen. Boy, a lot of damage dished out to this Mammoth Rider. So let's see, that'll finish off the Sun Guard, hopefully. Yes, it will. We are going to drop a nice big 25 heal, and then Draezad will get the kill here. And then our cadavers may get kind of beat up here. We'll see what happens. Yep, that actually works out kind of in our favor, because now we can revive them with full health. We will just grab a little bit more experience with our White Witch, and our White Witch has just hit champion, getting 10 extra health. Getting stacks of champion on those units is really going to make a big difference just in their survivability going forward. And was that another hero level up I just saw? Oh, I guess I'm crazy. How close are we getting with Draezad here? Oh, he's 1 XP away, so when the turn flips over, if I don't do any more battles, he should level up. We've got an inn here where we could recruit some units. We've got a tier 2 cavalry unit. That's another mod addition here for the Tigrans. But I'm not super in need of units at the moment, especially ones that aren't undead, because I'm not able to turn them into ghouls easily. Although I suppose I could use this Well of Souls, get them to drink and turn into ghouls. Oh, we've got halflings. Once again, I'm not a big fan of halflings with their luck. It's just extremely annoying when you're battling them, because you think you've got them on the ropes, and then they survive your attack thanks to their luck bonus. Okay, let's take a nice chunk out of that Jester unit. There we go. And this Eagle Rider could come in and give my heroes some what for. So I think I'm going to throw my cavalry out here, and my cadaver to act as a bit of a shield. And then we'll pull Draezad back. Now, Sheila's probably going to get attacked. Oh, no. Okay, well that works out just even better. Again, my units are now very, very expendable, simply because I can revive them without any real trouble. So I just have to really make sure that I don't risk my heroes. I keep them away from danger. It's maybe not the most glamorous playstyle, but I find that it's a safe playstyle that works well. And again, as a Necromancer, you really need those Necromancer heroes to keep your units going in the early game. Alright, so these adventurers hopefully aren't going to be killing anybody. So now I think we will basically just come in and drop some heals on our units here. We can come in and heal our cadavers. Come in and heal our Mammoth Rider. Get a little bit more XP maybe with our White Witch. There we go. And you know what? We will actually heal up our cadavers even more. Here we're gonna eat that corpse and then get a devastating charge and just obliterate those poor little halflings. Although I don't feel so bad because again, that darn lucky. Coat of the Elephant is actually quite a nice defense unit, or a defense item I should say. So I'm going to take that. We're really giving Sheila some nice, as long as the unit is embarked, yeah, I think we're going to sell that. Let's get a little bit extra gold. Not a particularly useful item in my current situation, by my estimation. So, ooh, and unfortunately I didn't move Sheila back to the stack. Now that's okay. So now we've got some more choices to make here. We've got Master of Puppets, giving my ghouls some morale, because obviously as undead they're really not affected by most morale things. I really want to get Vampiric Hunger. That's a real boost to my melee units. But I am kind of tempted to get Summon Lost Soul just to have a little bit more ability to get units out when I need them. Obviously I haven't focused at all on producing units, so I think we'll do Lost Soul and then do Vampiric Hunger. Just to have that ability if we need in a pinch to generate some units. So level 6, I hold off again with Necromancers. I tend not to apply any upgrade, and you'll see why shortly. A little bit more scouting here. Oh, we've got a nice Lost Library. Those are really good to raid for research and extra spells. Can jumpstart your research by quite a bit. So, I think in the next turn here we are going to try and siege the city, and hopefully... Oh, he can't quite get in there. Maybe we'll siege the city and then come back, and depending what level we're at, maybe we'll attack the tomb. It's probably going to be a little bit to where it's 7, so I might hold off on that, but we'll have to see. Oh my, so we are getting attacked. Yeah, this is a battle that I'm probably not going to win, so I am going to auto-combat that battle and predictably lose, and that's okay. So we have these little punk scoundrels kind of patrolling around my city, so I'm going to have to be careful. I don't want to lose a city at this point. And they do pose a bit of a risk to me. So, as you can see here, my Reanimator isn't quite able to make it into the battle. Again, that's okay. So, yeah, we'll send... my units down. We can grab another quick battle here. This should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so they're not going to press, so we're going to throw our units in reckless as usual with our frontline guys. Drop a Frozen Flames. And we're not quite in range, so we're going to just hold up in defense there. We're fighting against a couple of orcs here. All of them have ranged attacks. Once again, they should be extremely susceptible to magic, as you can see there. Jeez, 2 hit them. It's kind of a big ouch for them. We'll throw our cadaver in. Deliver a nice devastating charge there. We'll actually soften him up so that this guy gets the kill and then gets to progress one more step. And we will end our turn there. Those razor projectiles, not so fun. Give you that bleed effect. You know what? I think maybe we'll just drop the heal. We'll heal up our units because obviously we have a city to siege here coming up. So we'll get our units nice and healthy. Get a nice flank kill there with our Mammoth Rider. So extra money, that's always going to be helpful. We do seem to have another spawn structure there, so that we could potentially raid for more units depending on what kind of unit is spawning there. Alright, well, let's siege the city. Unfortunately, these poor humans are really going to take a walloping here, I think. So in this instance, I am going to throw Frozen Flames on the Mammoth, send the Mammoth charging in, once again, a little bit reckless, because we don't have to worry too much. If the Mammoth ends up going down, we can revive it. It's human bowman, doing a bit of damage there. We're going to get our cadavers up on the wall, and we will get our Mammoth destroying the gate. Almost. Not quite one hitting it. Again, we'll move our heroes in just as support. So, I'm surprised they didn't come up and press a little bit more. We'll throw our cadavers in and put them in defense. Might be nice to get a heal on that Mammoth, but I don't really want my heroes getting in there too close. I suppose we could kind of throw our hero in facing the archers, so no flank damage at least. Start softening them up a little bit. Mammoth Rider can finish off that gate. We'll actually drop another heal on the Mammoth here and finish off those archers. And we'll finish off these long swordsmen as well. And there we have it, another city. So I'm not particularly interested in having a human city. I'm going to basically just migrate this to Ghoul Frostlings. And as a nice happy bonus, I get some more evil points. So once again, at level 6, I am going to save those points, I think. How much further can we move? Not too far. So maybe we'll take out this mana node next turn. Take out the mana node and then loop down around, take this out, and then head maybe for this tomb, depending on what level our heroes are at. Once again, we're not going to need to cast anything, so we'll end our turn there. So the ability to grow your army via non-production means, I find, is an extremely useful strategy. Now this is a really unfortunate development. I didn't see this one coming at all. That's always the risk when you leave a unit by itself. So let's see if we can deal with this. Unfortunately, we are probably going to lose our reanimators here. I do not have any good combat spells to assist. We'll see if we can drag this battle out maybe a tiny bit here. If the units are unable to, the attacking units are unable to do damage for 5 turns, the battle will end. So we'll see if maybe we can basically run away long enough. Fortunately, it looks like we might be SOL. Oh, did we get lucky? I think we got lucky. See, fortunately, these Lost Souls don't have a super far movement distance. They don't have a lot of movement points. And that's actually what saved us there. And of course, these guys are putzing around, threatening our cities. So now I have Summon Lost Soul completed, which is going to help us quite a bit. So now we are going to do Vampiric Hunger, I think. Start getting our units a lot stronger. So Dastara, our capital city, our throne city, we've now finished production. We've done all the production structures. Now I think we're going to start worrying about some of the other main building lines here. So we'll do a shrine just because we have negative mana income. It would be nice to start having a positive mana income, obviously. I think we're actually going to divert slightly here. We're going to take out these Lost Souls first, as we need them to be out of the picture. Don't want to risk our newfound city. Now, it may be possible for me to actually convert one or two of these units, which would give me a nice little city defender unit right out of the gate here. So I'm actually going to throw my heroes a little more recklessly than usual. I'm going to throw them in. Okay, so we have one. Now, of course, that unit may get attacked here, but yeah, and of course our little Lost Soul got killed there. Now I think because it has Undying, we may still get the unit, but I'm not exactly sure. We're gonna actually drop a heal on our Cadaver. Oh, nice, got our Reanimator, a little bit of experience there, and I'll use Draezad to finish off those Lost Souls. Now let's see if we got to keep that unit. Okay, so we didn't. When it dies, it loses its mind control. That's good to know. Well, no matter. Oh, it looks like this is another unit generating structure, which we may have to clear out here. Boy, there's just a ton of these around these cities, so maybe we'll actually clear that. Ooh, and we can't quite get there, of course. I think I'm going to clear out the mana node first. We'll kind of do a big loop and then come back around and take that out. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt. Alright, so just fighting some wisps here. Fortunately, we now have some units that do quite a bit of damage to the wisps. An Unholy Champion is going to help us here, obviously, as you just saw. Ooh, not quite able to kill. Oof. Again, these little wisps are kind of deceptive in how much damage they can potentially do. Especially with that flanking attack. Okay, so we've used up the movement for that unit. We are going to start summoning some Lost Souls, I think, just to reinforce our cities, or even, again, to use as a scout. It's going to be nice just to have a couple extra units that aren't draining our gold, that are instead going to drain our mana which I think very rapidly here we're going to have a decent mana income. Oh, and they're going to attack us. Okay. I kind of figured that the AI wouldn't get that aggressive. So let's see what happens here. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this battle. Again, I'm not able to really cast anything of sufficient assistance here. You know, this is always the danger in getting, you know, kind of overextending. Let's see what happens here. We're going to press in. So they've got wall climbing. They're able to climb the walls, but they don't have anything special aside from their ability to sprint. So maybe let's get up on the wall here with our unit. Unfortunately, our carrion bird is at only half health, so if we do end up losing this city, we should be able to take it back fairly easily with that hero that I have in my throne city. So we'll just try and do kind of as much damage as we can. Hopefully they start trying to climb here. It's going to make our life a little bit easier. No, they're not going to do that. Okay. Guess we'll pull back and let them try and get through the gate. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize they could just... Oh, okay, they're on their ladders. So now we can... Now the question is, do I attack or do I throw it in defense mode? I think I'm going to go defense here. Again, realistically, I'm probably going to lose this battle. Oh, and I forgot about the sprint and the ensnare net. See? There you go. So, again, I'm falling prey to the things that I'm trying to warn you about. You can see how useful that lifesteal effect is, though, as these guys have it inherent as an ability. Get a nice flank attack in, do a little bit more damage, and then unfortunately this will probably be the end of the battle. Boy, that's a big hit to our economy here early, losing that city. So now we're going to have to get real creative. Fortunately, we now have our other city here. Again, I got a little overzealous. I should have reinforced my borders a little bit more strongly. But, as they say, you live and you learn. So, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go with the Embalmer's Guild. Get our production of units at least potentially going. Also increasing our population growth in our capital city. So I think what I'll do is I'll summon a Lost Soul, add it to this stack here, and then see if potentially I can take back the city. But of course I'm going to have to worry about guarding my capital city, because now that I've lost that city, the last thing I need is losing another city. So we'll start with a Harvester's Guild there. Although, I think I'm actually going to build an ice scraper just to act as a deterrent on that city, and then we'll progress in actually building the economy of the city. Oh my, a Wraith King. These are one of my favorite undead units. I think I'm gonna actually wait to attack this until I'm at level 7. Because once I'm at level 7... Oh, interesting. These are shadow demons. Well, let's battle some shadow demons, shall we? if I can get that Wrath King on my team, that will make for a really, really strong unit on my side. Gosh, those things make a kind of gross noise. So Shadow Demons here, it basically is like a giant scorpion. It's dedicated to evil, magical origin. It's a bombardment unit. Interesting. And I'm assuming these Shadow Demon larvae will, when they level up, evolve potentially. Yeah, there they are. They would evolve into it. Oh, and then they progress all the way through. Okay. Interesting. Ooh, and they're blight resistant. Oof, gosh, that's kind of a gross noise. I think we'll finish off that little larva and then engage this in... Oh yeah. Big damage there. So again, I would... Oh, and we've had Draezad get to level 7. This is exactly what I hoped for. So now, in my opinion, the most important skill you get as a Necromancer, Greater Reanimate Undead. Some would call this maybe a little bit overpowered. Think of it what you will, but it is, again, in my opinion, the most important skill that a Necromancer hero gets. It's going to allow us to do some pretty incredible things. So next turn, we will use our heroes here to attack. Hopefully no strong unit generates from this structure here. And we will try and get this Wraith King on our team. Yeah, boy, that's unfortunate that that city was taken. But all is not lost. So we now have a Lost Soul ready to go. This city will have a guard in one turn, so we will cast it here on our capital city. And then I'm going to immediately start creating another one. Alright, so let's see if we can get this juicy Tier 3 Wraith King on our team. And again, you're going to get to see in action, hopefully, Greater Reanimate Undead and its power. Now, the trick here is I need to kill the Wraith King before all the other units are dead and the battle ends. So this can't be the last unit left alive. So I'm going to focus the majority of my attack here on the Wraith King unit. I just have to be careful, as these flying units can really come in and do some major damage to my heroes. So I think I'm going to, again, play it a little bit conservatively, although charge in, get some major damage. I'm even willing to lose one of my really, really strong units if need be. That's just how powerful these Wraith Kings become, in my opinion. So our Mammoth Rider did an excellent job there of basically tanking all the major damage. We should be able to get almost the kill there. Our little cadavers can... Actually, we'll finish them off here with the White Witch. Alright, now this is where the magic happens. We are going to come in and deliver a new friend. Maybe 2 new friends. Not quite. boy, ouch, you can see there just how damaging those tier 2 units that can fly can be on these Necromancer heroes. So you really do have to be careful. You don't want to lose these heroes at this point. So I'm going to drop a nice heal and get my new Wraith King unit stronger. And then, do any other units need a nice heal? Of course I can't quite get there. Let's see if we can freeze this Bone Wyvern. No such luck. Can we eat a corpse? We can. Just get a little bit extra health for everybody. And then let's get the kill. There we go. Well, all things considered, I'll take that trade. Losing that city, but gaining this Wraith King. Ooh, a 60% fire protection is pretty darn useful. And a shield that provides the bonus of having the shield along with some general defense. I think I'll take those. So Sheila is really starting to have some decent stats thanks to her collection of items. Draezad's starting to get kind of jealous, I think. He's going to start needing items of his own here. So I think at this point we're going to be able to actually split this unit. We now have a really strong tier 3 unit. We have the Reanimator, which can provide healing support. We don't need 2 heroes doing this. That being said, I do need to keep this unit pretty strong so that we can raid these tombs and potentially get some more really, really strong tier 3 undead units. And this is also where having my economy strong is going to be important because, as you can see, these tier 3 units have quite substantial gold upkeep, so I need to make sure that my economy is able to support me having these strong units at a relatively early phase in the game. We're only on turn 15. So, again, that's the real challenge, I find. It's not actually in getting the units necessarily. The real challenge, at least for me, is being able to keep them going and upkeep them. So, let's finish up this turn. Now, here's the question. What do I do with these units here? Do I progress to the left and this tomb here? Do I loop back around to this tomb and clear out this spawn structure up here? There's also a second tomb there as well. Potentially explore underground. This is where being able to split this army is going to be useful. I think what I'm going to do is actually perform this battle here, just to, again, keep getting some more experience. Obviously, this Wraith King has just joined us, so no movement points after that battle. Ooh, these units are a little stronger than I was actually anticipating. I didn't quite look at it close enough. So we've got a tier 3 air elemental and a tier 3 node serpent, which importantly has phase and sprint. And then we've got 2 flying units. This is quite a dangerous battle. I think on second thought I may not actually try that battle out. And we have 2 tombs here, so I think we're going to basically just take this turn, let everybody heal up a bit, and then we're going to attack these 2 tombs and try and recruit some friends, essentially, to help us. And then back on the home front here, Capital City, I'm going to summon another Lost Soul, and then probably see if I can retake my lost city here, the city of Noordrift, which was taken by these darn scoundrels. And of course that was my mistake for leaving it so unguarded. Okay, so as the new day dawns, I think we are going to call it a day for the second episode of my first Age of Wonders 3 playthrough. We are going to save this game as Necromancer Free-for-All 2. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.